Hey guys, welcome to the J-Chip Show. My name is J-Chip, and today I have another review for you here today. Princess Yona lives a life of luxury and ease, completely sheltered from the problems of the seemingly peaceful kingdom of Koka. However, the sudden murder of the king and betrayal of her beloved cousin Suwon places Yona's life in danger. Though surrounded by enemies on all sides, the banished princess still wants to save her kingdom. Her only solution comes from an exiled priest, who tells her that her only hope is to find the 4 legendary dragon warriors. Guided by this seemingly fictitious myth, Yona sets out to find these warriors, determined to restore her kingdom. Through the entire show, we see Princess Yona go through a great amount of character development. From the beginning, we see her as a pampered princess that doesn't really want to go outside, but eventually, over time, we see her become a very strong warrior, and became my favorite character in the show. Suwon has to be my least favorite character out of the show, to be honest. It's not that he was the villain of the show, it's just that we didn't really get to see a lot of him after his initial introduction. After that, he gets 1 episode to himself, but it's not enough to fully develop him and make him a really strong villain. However, I will say that he is very handsome. Sun Hawk is also another really handsome boy, but doesn't get a lot of development as Yona does. He does go through a great deal of character development, but it's just not as much as him. I do like the internal struggle, though, of him being a loyal bodyguard, falling in love with Princess Yona, and I thought that was a very cool character arc, but it really wasn't executed well because it just felt creepy. The Dragon Warriors themselves are pretty cool. Most of them you get around 2 to 3 episodes of backstory and you get to understand who they are, and honestly I liked almost all of them except one, but we'll get to that. Studio Pierrot did the animation for this show and it looks absolutely amazing. The attention to detail in the backgrounds and to the character facial expressions and their emotions is absolutely amazing. When you see a character use a bow and arrow, you do see cuts on their arms and bruises on them as if they were actually doing it, and I think Pierrot did an amazing job. This show also has an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. They use authentic old Japanese style instruments, and the show has 2 OPs. The first opening was pretty meh. They just used still images of the characters, but it's better than the J-pop music they used in the second opening. Overall, Yona the Dawn is a pretty good show. The only problem that I have with it, and it is a major flaw with the show, is that it does not have an ending. This anime came out in 2014, and honestly, I don't see a second season happening. It could, if Basklist ever taught me anything, is that, anything can get a season 2. But if you really like this show, the manga's still ongoing, so you may want to go with that. Also, the anime is not bad. Sure, it doesn't have an ending, but the journey was great, and the show is filled with great characters and good development of strong female characters. And honestly, I think this show is worth a stream, and if you wanted to buy it, you can. It is a bit pricey for my taste, but if you do buy it, I think you did make a very good choice, because this show is worthy enough to be on a shelf. But for me personally, I probably won't buy it just because that ending, it doesn't have an ending. And honestly, if this show was 50 episodes long, I think this show would have been great. But overall, I still really like this show, and I recommend you watch it. For recommendations, I recommend Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit, and Inuyasha. I recommend Moribito because it has a very strong female lead, and it's kind of a similar plot where a bodyguard and a person of royal go through a journey. And Moribito is fucking awesome, and you should get it because it really is an amazing show. And I recommend Inuyasha because while the show is longer, the show does have a great cast of strong female characters. And honestly, some of the characters looked very similar, especially Hawk and Moroku. But also, I did have some Inuyasha flashbacks when Princess Yona used a bow and arrow. that is going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to my Patreon, which will be down in the link description below. And if you do, you have plenty of rewards, like you can recommend me shows to watch and review. Speaking of patrons, I want to give a huge thanks to Shaxter59, Warpbait, Stuff We Play, and Nia-chan for supporting me on Patreon. You guys truly do rock.